I'm here at the Edenville Dam again. You see it over my shoulder. Before I get this video started, I want to thank my new patron, Peter, and thank the people that have been sending me letters through the mail. I really appreciate it. Also, a quick update on the live cameras. So the live camera down there in Sanford should be live on the powerhouse now, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. And we have less than $1,000 to raise to get one hooked up on Secord Dam to provide a live view over the top of that dam. Let me turn the camera around now and we'll take a look at Edenville Dam. So this doesn't look a whole lot different than the last time I'm here from this view, but just over there on the other side, that eye wall is being installed. Great view though. You can actually see the water coming down from the Tittabawassee River. Really cold out here. You can see that we actually have some snow on the ground now, and the river is just starting to freeze up there to the north. So they have this sheet pile cutoff wall wrapped all the way around the front of the dam, a lot of riprap behind it, and this is to provide filtration so the sediment directly in front of the sheet pile cutoff wall does not just end up going downriver. You can see a little bit of this has already started to happen though. There is a little bit of sand down in this area where the spillways used to be. You can see the breakers went ahead and removed those. This is right where the turbines and the powerhouse is located directly behind these. So these were the spillways that entered into that. And then over here on the left-hand side, this is facing towards the west. We can see there's been a ton of work along the earthen embankment. So all this clay is coming from over there by strikers. I'll stop over there and show you that on my way out of here. But this is just providing armoring to make sure that this earthen embankment is solid. You know, underneath here, a lot of sand, and this clay will go ahead and armor it so that water does not penetrate through it. A couple sheet piles have been driven out here. There's one there, there, and there. And this is to provide a safety chain is going to go across the front of this with buoys so that any kayaks or canoers do not end up going over the top of the dam. I don't think much would happen right now. You can see that water is just kind of filtering through a lot of that riprap, and you're not actually able to get over the top of that sheet pile cutoff wall there. So maybe though, when we have some high rain events and some flooding that happens in the springtime, this might start backing up a little bit more with water. So yeah, let's go over. I'll take a walk up here to the top real quick. And you can see they have a couple bulldozers over here, excavator, and they're kind of just going ahead and grading out the earthen embankment. Looks like it's got a nice grade on it. It's a nice shot up to the north. Looks like all the vegetation on the lake bed has now lost its leaves. All those cottonwood and willow trees. Jumping into some of the drone video now. The drone is facing towards the south, so flying directly in front of the dam. You can see that water flowing over the top of the sheet pile cutoff wall. I'll fly right up here a little bit closer and we'll actually be able to take a look at that water filtering through a lot of that riprap. Still have to edit the video when I went ahead and took a tour out there in Bayport, Michigan, at the stone quarry where all this riprap comes from. Hopefully I'll be able to edit that video in the next coming weeks and release that. Again, you can kind of see that water flowing through that riprap though and providing some filtration so that the sediment just doesn't all flow downriver. Go ahead, turn the camera over here to the left a little bit and we'll be able to see that eye wall being installed. So that sheet pile cutoff wall in the background is actually the eye wall. And right now you can see the crane is back there. I believe there is the vibratory hammer attached to that. I'll fly over there a little bit closer and we'll be able to take a look at that. Right at the bottom of the screen is those trusses though. That used to be the old trusses that the rail cars used to use to go ahead and dump dirt on the earthen embankment. It looks like they went ahead and pulled those out. Hopefully those go to a museum somewhere and are stored so that some of this history is preserved. And yeah, flying over here to the eye wall, you can see that vibratory hammer on the crane. And they were just going ahead about to hammer in that sheet pile cutoff wall, that last piece there, down into the earth a little bit more. And now jumping into this next clip, I'm going to fly the drone up to 400 feet in altitude just to kind of get a perspective as to what things look like up here at this height. If you're tuning into the live camera, you'll now see that the earthen embankment over here by Edenville Dam is completely hydroturfed. So they went ahead and blew in that grass seed and covered it with a grass blanket so that that can go ahead and germinate. And then turning the camera over here, that water over there to the top of the screen is the Tobacco River Dam. Taking a look a little bit further down here now. So I was just up over here on the left-hand side showing you the upriver portion. The powerhouse of Edenville Dam is located right here. And this is the view downriver. We can see some of that concrete left from the dam. Looks like there's no sediment on there. A little bit of riprap located right here. And the old sill of Edenville Dam is located right here. So again, no sediment here. For some reason, I lost audio during this part of the video, so I'm just going to go ahead and provide a little bit of a voiceover and show what I was talking about. So in this area, I was kind of saying that there is sediment in this low area right where the spillways used to be. So that old spillway rollway that has been removed with the breaker. And we can see down here a little bit of that sediment that has gathered in this low area. And looking down here to the south, directly in front of the dam, you can see that old roadway that was put in place so that they can go ahead and cross that river. Don't think they've been using that too much lately. It's starting to get deteriorated a little bit further, but another great shot to the south down the original river path. At the time of me filming this voiceover, the water's kind of actually at an all-time high. One of the residents that lives directly downriver of here has been monitoring the water level, and we didn't have much snow, spring, melt, and runoff last year. So the water level actually currently right now on December 13th is higher than it has been previously all last year. And what I was just pointing out was a section of the crane hoisting the eye wall into place. You'll see more of this upcoming soon. I'm over on the east side of the dam now, and you can actually see how far they have got to installing this eye wall. So we can see it spanning right there from Edenville Dam, and it's going to come directly straight over here to the earthen embankment. I'm actually standing on the old earthen embankment, and you can see it's pretty much a straight shot directly across from there. Looks like they're just about ready to start hammering in some more of the sheet pile, so hopefully I'll get down there very soon and be able to watch some of that. And then down here to the south, this is where the new river path used to be going in that direction. I'll probably take a walk down there today as well and show you guys that. I do want to mention though that the earthen embankment here, I got an answer on how much dirt they have actually hauled in here, that clay, and it is 20,000 cubic yards. So that's how much they have hauled in so far at this point, but still there is a ton more that they need to bring in. If you watch this video this long, make sure you go down below, hit the thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and leave any questions and comments you have down below. I know there's a few people that don't actually know how to subscribe, some of the older population watching my videos. All you need to do is go create a Gmail account. After you create a Gmail account, you can go ahead, log into YouTube, and you'll be able to hit that subscribe button. We are almost to 33,000 subscribers, so every little bit helps. And I think there's only about 45% of the people watching my videos that are actually subscribed. So if we can get that other 55% to subscribe, that'd be a huge help. If not, also hitting that like button is a huge help. So let's head on down here now, see what's happening, and see if we can see some of the sheet pile being installed. I was just heading back to the truck and thought you guys might find this interesting. So this is one of those actual soil borings that they've did inside of this earthen embankment to see what the contents are. You can see down there, but they drilled all the way down through this earthen embankment to see what it consisted of. Actually on this side, it actually looks like it was clay. I know out there where it did end up failing though, that was sand, and also the other side is sand, hence why they're armoring it with clay over there on that side. All right, enough of me rambling. Now let's head on down there, watch them install some of this eye wall. Take a little bit closer look up here at the eye wall. So you can see these are 20 feet sheets right here. The ones that are up a little bit higher on that side are definitely taller, but they got to go ahead and install these sheets all the way across here over to the earthen embankment over there on that side. They're just waiting on a park to come for the vibratory hammer right now, and then they will go ahead and start hammering in some of the sheet pile. So I'll probably maybe go film over at the Tobacco River side if they aren't able to get that in anytime soon. And then I'll come back here after they're done fixing it, hopefully a little bit later today, but if not, then I will try to get some other videos and kind of see how they're keeping things all nice and level. Here's a view on the north side of the eye wall, and then again out here to the north you can actually see a little bit of the vegetation out here in front. I know there's always a lot of people interested in the vegetation, so I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna run down there real quick, film a little bit of that for the people that are interested. So here's a little bit closer look at the vegetation. You can see that pretty much all the leaves have fallen off of these, but based on the leaves that I'm seeing down here, almost all of these are cottonwood trees. And these here are about, this one right here, this tall one's about 10 feet tall, so definitely getting up there in height. We'll have to see what is decided next year when they go ahead and decide how to clear the lake bed before these trees become too much more of an issue. And over here you can see the work on the earthen embankment as well, and then the eye wall back here in the background. I'm now down here to the south of Edenville Dam. You can see the Edenville Dam is back there where the crane is located, and we're standing right at the top of what used to be Edenville Falls. So the new river path used to be flowing directly over this direction and going down to the south. This was the Tittabawassee River, and they used to just flow over these falls. Maybe I'll pop up a video of what used to exist here from some drone video. Kind of cool though, it looks like it's just from a different planet almost. All this clay down in here eroded a little bit further. Looks like that one layer there was a little bit softer material, cut into that a little bit more. And then down here at the base, it's just a lot of rocks sitting. And then the original river path is over here in this direction. You can kind of see where that open water is located. So that is flowing back around this backside and meeting back up. This used to be the confluence of the old and new river path before the water was redirected. Kind of cool seeing this though. I'm sure the fall area here will not be for much longer. A lot of this dirt is going to be starting to be shoved over the top of this and filled back in very soon. Going to jump back into some of this drone video now, flying down the new river path that no longer exists, and I threw the date up on the screen that I was out there filming this. I'm going to show some comparisons between the fall area and how much back cutting occurred over the last year or two, and pay close attention to this line that I'm going to pop up on the screen right about now. Right at the base of that tree stump over there on the left hand side, there's a little small creek, a ditch that runs out there, and that's kind of a good marker to kind of see how much these fall areas has back cut up. But up here to the south, you can kind of see where the original river path is now meeting up with the new river path. That dike has been removed almost entirely, and water is flowing down that way. You can see the M30 bridge in the background there as well. So now jumping back to 6/1 of 2020, so this was shortly after the dams actually failed. You can see how much water is running through this area. But again, near the end of this video, I'm going to pop up that red line and you can see how much these falls have changed. Right now, they're actually not very evident. You can see them just back there in the background now, right above that red line, and they're not even to that red line at this point. And now on 5/5 of 2021, different view, but you can see where that creek area is coming in on the right-hand side, and now the falls have actually back cut up to the north of that area, so just starting to reach up a little bit higher than that creek area was. Probably an interesting study for a lot of the geologists and everyone that would be studying this back cutting phenomenon. But yeah, can also pay attention to how much Edenville Dam has changed in the background and the lake bottom. And now on 7/29 of 2021, this was when they were just going ahead installing riprap in front of Edenville Dam. Then they went ahead and installed that sheet pot cutoff wall before they went and removed the spillways with the breaker. And they were down here removing a little bit of the dike area and actually dumping a lot of that clay over here on the right hand side that they're going to be using to fill in this new river path. But this time the river path was actually still flowing down here in this area, and you may be able to start to see that creek area on the left hand side where that enters and how much this back cutting has occurred now way past that red line near the bottom of the screen. And back there in the background again, M30 Bridge. Dike is still in place, blocking the old river path and jumping back to current day again, almost current day on 11/29 of 2021 when I was out there filming on this day. You can see where that tree stump is and drawing a line directly across from where that creek area comes in. A lot of back cutting, probably about 50 to 100 feet of back cutting up to the north in this area. If you've enjoyed this, let me know down in the comments down below. Going back through some of this old video, I do have all of this stored, so it's kind of cool to actually go back in time and review this every now and then. Right now in this video though, I'm going to fly up the original river path now that they have riprap on both sides of that channel and the dike almost completely removed. We can see how much this river path has changed. Doesn't really look too much different from the last time that I was out there. Water is definitely flowing. Not a whole lot of water the day that I was out there filming. And as we come around this last bend, we'll start to be able to see Edenville Dam in the background up there to the north. You may be able to start to see some of this brown material, this big kind of blob right at the top of the screen. That's actually a little bit of the sediment that has made it through the riprap filtration that is directly behind the sheet pile cutoff wall in front of Edenville Dam. So that is helping quite a bit. There's still a little bit of the sediment making it through, but not near as much as would be coming through had that not been put in place. And I'm going to drop in altitude a little bit further here. You can see they have some riprap over here on the right hand side. I am saying rip wrap. A lot of people think I'm saying riffraff, but this is the stone material that is used to stop a lot of the erosion, and we can see the roadway that is put in place to kind of go behind the backside of this dam that is used every now and then. And now we can see the powerhouse over here on the left hand side. I'm going to go ahead and fly directly between the retaining walls where the spillways used to be. I did talk to the engineers when I was out there. They do have some prisms over there on the right hand side on each side of that retaining wall. You can see highlighted in pink. And that wall has not moved hardly at all. All of the areas on this dam that they are monitoring with those prisms have stayed pretty steady. Hardly no movement. And now I'm going to fly directly up here behind the dam, and we can see a little bit more of that riprap put in place and how that water is filtering nicely through there, collecting a lot of that sediment on the north side of that sheet pile cutoff wall. I'm going to keep flying to the north a little bit further. I know there's a lot of people that are always interested in the lake bottoms, the vegetation growth, so I'll film a little bit of that, and always let me know what you guys are interested in seeing when I'm out there filming. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like to see next. I'm now over on the west side of the dam. Edenville Dam is located way over there in that direction, and right on the other side of this earthen embankment is where Strikers is located. This is where all that dirt is coming from. I know there's been a lot of people asking what is going on there, where is all that dirt going to, and what is the work that's happening. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that. But right now you can see that they're just stockpiling a ton of this. This bulldozer is moving a little bit of this dirt, and it looks like all the sand is over here. I'll probably include a little bit of this raw video at the end of this video as well. I know there's lots of people always interested in that, seeing some of this dirt moving happening. And also I'm going to be including the engineering diagrams and details at the end of this video for people that are also interested in that. If you want to know what equipment I'm using, check the links in the description down below. There are links to Amazon. And if you go ahead and click those and purchase anything from Amazon within 24 hours of you clicking that link, they kick a small portion of the proceeds back to the channel. So it's a way to help me out as well. So if you're interested, make sure you go down below and check that out. Now let's head over to the other side of the earthen embankment, and I'll show you the work that's happening down there. Here you can see that they have the piling staged, the barriers that are going to go in front of Edenville Dam to keep people from in front of it from going over the top of the dam. You can see how these will all be chained together. These might also be for in front of the Tobacco River Dam as well. Here's the view from the top of the earthen embankment. You can see the hole they now have in the ground out here. This is all the work that's happening right in front of Strikers. So Strikers Marina is right there. They went ahead and stripped off all that topsoil, that overburden, shoved that off to the side, and then they went ahead, stripped off the sand, stockpiled a lot of that sand back here on the backside of the earthen embankment, and now they're digging out all the glacial till. All that glacial till is being used right here along this side of the earthen embankment. You can see back here, a lot of work that's going on. So they're kind of just grading this back down. You can see the grade that they used to have on this. Hard to tell because some of it has been eroded away since it was sand, but the grade was a lot steeper than what is currently being installed here. The glacial till back here that they're digging, you can see that's quite a hole down there. They're only going so deep though, as deep as you can see right there. If they do need more glacial till though, that clay, they can come back and dig this a little deeper if need be. Also over here to the west, see the M30 temporary bridge, and the Tobacco River Dam is right there where that crane is located. I'm gonna be going over there to film right after I finish up here. But yeah, just a ton more work happening as always. Make sure you stay tuned till the end of this video. I have a ton of this raw footage, but this time-lapse video just shows how well the machinery here on this site is kind of choreographed. Everything is moving in a nice smooth motion, and you can see there is no machinery sitting idle here. I'm going to jump back into some of this drone video now of some of this erosion control work going on in front of Strikers Marina. This area is directly between Edenville and the Tobacco River Dam. I'll show you that in a little while. This excavator down here on the bottom of the screen was actually working on some ditching though, so see a little bit of that water kind of pooled up there. We went ahead and made a ditch so that was able to go ahead and drain out of there. Pretty cool seeing this huge hole though. You can't even see this off-road dump truck down here on the bottom left-hand side of the screen till the drone comes directly overhead. I do want to mention this is a portion of the video that I did trim down a lot. There is a ton of raw footage at the end of this video of showing a lot of this dirt moving. Again, this excavator here is just going ahead and filling up this off-road dump truck though, and then this clay, this glacial till that he's scooping up right now is being trucked over to the earthen embankment to armor it a little bit more. This reminds me of a scene straight out of Gold Rush. I know there's a lot of people that watching my channel that also watch Gold Rush. I can assure you though, there is very minimal, if not any, gold in this glacial till and any of this dirt here in this area. We are just not known for having gold in our dirt here in Michigan. In this next clip, we can see the earthen embankment, that bulldozer working to shape this a little bit more. And as I'm turning the camera over here to the east, you can see they have a compactor up here. And over here is the Tittabawassee River, that water way off in the background. I'll fly down that way and you'll get a little bit more oriented once you're able to see where Edenville Dam is located. Looks like they have a lot of nice roadways put in place here though, so that they're able to truck on these and not get these off-road dump trucks stuck. Actually, right now on our property, we are working on building our house, or actually having our builder, Mark Hammond at Forever Built Homes. And Finney Trucking out of Sanford is working on digging our pond right now. We're using a lot of the pond for filter around the house. If you want to go ahead and actually follow the whole process of us building this house, make sure you go down below and click the link and subscribe to my other channel to follow along with that. You can see Edenville Dam here in the background now where that crane is located though. And this bulldozer looks like he's just doing a final grade on this embankment before they went ahead and blew in the grass seed. Looks like they have the excavator down here bailing out a little bit of that topsoil, that clay, that excess was not needed. Jumping back a little bit further to the west, closer to the Tobacco River Dam, you can see this is the area that I was filming at. A lot of that sand stockpiled in the background behind the earthen embankment. And then panning a little bit more over here to the right, we'll see the Tobacco River Dam come into view. and the M30 Causeway Bridge. This is a temporary bridge. A permanent solution will be put in place in the coming years, but that was actually pretty cool to see that installed from my live camera in this area. Again, if you want to actually see the day-to-day activities going on here, all this dirt moving happening, I do have a live camera located right here at Strikers Marina overlooking this job site that you can tune into anytime 24/7 and see what is going on. This off-road dump truck is just going ahead and dumping his load of glacial till or clay. Again, bulldozers in the background doing that final grade on the earthen embankment, and this bulldozer over here on the right is doing kind of a rough grade, just kind of getting the proportions of the earthen embankment close to how they should be. And painting the camera around a little bit further to the right, pretty cool shot coming up. I actually see 3 of these off-road dump trucks all waiting in a single file line to be able to dump their glacial till. You can definitely see how well of an operation this is laid out by the crew here at Fisher Contracting. After the off-road dump truck went ahead and left this area, I was able to get a nice close-up shot of the excavator going ahead and digging out a little bit of this glacial till. Pretty cool seeing this. It actually almost looks like a shale rock, but this is clay, and a lot more of this raw video included at the very end of this video. I know this one's getting a little bit long, but if you want to make sure you stay tuned to the end to watch that, make sure you do. Awesome seeing the operators here, though. You can see just how precise. They've definitely been doing this for quite a while. Just going ahead and installing another one of these sheet piles into the eye wall. You can see the eye wall right here. And they're using the vibratory hammer again on the 100-ton crane to be able to go ahead and drive these into the ground. If you want to see the entire process of them driving in this sheet pile to form this eye wall, make sure you stay tuned till the end of the video. I have a ton of raw footage of the process of this as well. And go ahead and see how this is lining up. So you can see straight down the wall. And directly over to this side, the earthen embankment is right where that's going to run across. Probably be including a lot of raw video at the end of this video of the sheet pile being installed, if anyone wants to stay tuned to the end to see that. Engineer from Spicer is checking to make sure that the temperature doesn't get too hot. The last sheet got up to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Said the hottest one that we've seen got up to 280 degrees Fahrenheit. They just got to make sure that the temperature remains under 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which they have been. Right there, just starting to hit hard pan. You can hear the audio change, as well as see as the vibratory hammer bouncing up and down a little bit more as soon as it starts to hit that hard pan. Jumping back to the drone video now, I am flying directly to the west, right off the tip of the earthen embankment, and going to show you guys the process of how they went ahead and install a sheet of the sheet pile to form the eye wall. So they pretty much use the skylift to go ahead and guide the first piece into the groove of the piece next to it, and then they can go ahead, install and hook up the vibratory hammer, attach that to the top of the sheet pile, and then once they get everything nice and aligned, then go ahead, start the vibratory hammer, and that can start hammering that down into the ground. Again, directly after this next clip, I will jump into a lot of the raw video that I was out there filming on site. There's about an hour of this, so if you want to stay tuned till the very end and watch the Four Lakes Task Force presentation on the progress and what's going to be happening here on Edenville Dam, make sure you stay tuned to that. And if you're not busy, make sure you just go ahead and let this video play through. It will definitely help boost this in the YouTube algorithm and get this video a couple more views. just got to make sure that the temperature remains under 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which they have been. Change, as well as see as the vibratory hammer bouncing up and down a little bit more as soon as it starts to hit that hard pan.
So this is a picture of from June 2020. This is about a month after the dam failure. When you're looking at this picture, you can in the very bottom middle of the picture, you'll see a sediment bar across the Tittabawassee River. Towards the bottom right, you'll see where the river is currently flowing, not through the original channel of the river, but through the breachway. This is where all the trees were washed out and the water rerouted itself. And then in the upper right, you'll see where the Tobacco River is flowing over from, from the Tobacco side of Wixom Lake and has eroded the embankment. So next slide. So what Eagle did is they issued the emergency permit, and this just summarizes the work areas. The right embankment repair, you can see where that is in the upper right. The spillway demolition on the upper right. The right embankment's on the upper left. The coffer dam and sediment control structure, the eye wall construction, the breachway restoration, and then the sediment removal.
And I think one of the things we got asked at the board meeting yesterday, Ron, was, well, it seems like a lot of effort. Why don't you just let it go where it's at? But I think there's three objectives, right? One is we're trying to manage sediment flow downstream and stabilize these dams. Two, there's a natural resource reason to get this river routed into the process, and then actually this creates a little bit of embankment that helps some of the undercutting that's occurring in places to work. But that's from a stabilization. From a future point of view, we get the water back where the spillway is going to be, which we can then actually have a restoration plan around that spillway.
Correct. Yep. And the funding, and Dave, I know you touched on the funding. This is all being the majority of this work. I would say 75% of this work is being funded through the NRCS, which is the Natural Resource Conservation Service, and obviously it used to be this Soil Conservation Service, and so there's a lot of focus on stopping erosion, stopping soil sediment transport, stabilizing the erosion, and returning the ecosystem to its original state. I would also say, and Paul could add to this, the design, as we're going through and designing these interim stabilization measures, we're also thinking about the future restoration of the dam and incorporating as much of the NRCS funded stabilization measures in a way that they would work into the long-term restoration plan.
Right. And the thing, I'll go ahead, Ron or Paul.
Yeah, well, I guess one example of that is, you showed it on a previous slide too, is the sister walls that we were constructing on the Tobacco side. We sized those sister walls to work with the new concrete weirs that the NRCS paid for and Fisher has constructed. So that is going to be the foundation for when we do bring the lakes back up and put in new spillway gates. And so when we were designing that, we kind of were looking at our 30% designs at the time and finding a way to incorporate that and maximize the dollars that are being spent right now, as well as spillway capacity in the future. And then the work here that we're doing on the Edenville side or the Tittabawassee side, it's the same approach. We need to basically, we've cut these spillways down to their base slab. But we did notice in this picture, we did save the left training wall looking downstream. We consider that an asset for when we reconstruct the dam, and we reconstruct and further demo this powerhouse and spillway when we come back to put in new gates. And then the same example when in the next couple of slides, we'll show that eye wall embankment that closes the current breach channel. That material, a lot of the steel sheet pile cutoff wall that we are driving now, will be left in place and used as an asset when we extend that cutoff wall up further to a further elevation when we rebuild that left embankment. So everything we're doing now, we're trying to make sure that we're maximizing those dollars and that effort that we can incorporate it and use it as a foundation when we rebuild these dams.
So the second, so the spillway rollway that's been removed. One thing that has happened is over the years, sediment has accumulated in the bottom of Wixom Lake. We do not want that sediment to flush downstream when we restore the river to its original route. And so we're installing a sediment control structure. And the red line on the right side of the screen shows the location of that sediment control structure. And on the left side of the screen, you can see the sheet pile being dried. Essentially, we're going to sheet pile around that. That sheet pile is going to be set at an elevation equal to the sediment level in the upstream portions. And so water will flow over that sheet pile. That'll all be lined with rock, and then it'll flow through the dam with the rollway removed. Before we can get the river on its original route, obviously there was a sediment plug in the river. So on the left-hand side, you can see all of the erosion that got and sediment that got deposited in the river. That now has all been removed. That was approximately 30,000 yards of material. And you can also see that some riprap was placed in that area to prevent further erosion. Paul, you might want to touch base on the eye wall here and how this will work.
Yep. So mentioned a minute or two ago, we need to close the breach channel before we can divert the water back into the Tittabawassee River through the former spillway footprint. So what we're doing here is we've kind of lined up where when we come back to reconstruct this left embankment, looking downstream, there'll be two things placed here. First is the embankment will be restored, but this is also an ideal location to construct a new auxiliary spillway. So this line here is this proposed eye wall. This is a combination of steel sheet pile that is driven into the hard foundation till, and then it's buttressed on both sides with riprap and rock protection. So this sheeting will stay in place after stabilization as we work towards final reconstruction, and that sheeting would be the foundation for a cutoff wall that would be installed in all of our embankments to prevent, again, seepage and internal erosion within these embankments. So driving the sheeting now, it kind of serves both a purpose here in the interim condition, as well as will be left in place and built on top of for the final reconstruction as well.
So the idea, Paul, is that all of the water would flow along the original river course.
Yep, we close that area off and we send it back through the spillway footprint. You got it.
So while the interim repairs and the construction of the interim repairs are ongoing at the Edenville Dam, we're also developing the engineering work plans and the restoration planning to rebuild the dam. There are some components that have been started on this, mostly development of design criteria and data collection. I'm not going to go through the whole sequence of events. Again, they're very similar to the upper dams. The key milestones here is we're looking to start construction in Q1 of 2024, and construction would extend through 2025 and into 2026. Another key component of the Edenville and Sanford Dam restoration is the natural resources and ecosystem study that I had mentioned early on, and that process is ongoing. We're meeting regularly with DNR, Fish and Wildlife, and other stakeholders.
Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below.
As always, I just want to give a massive thanks to the people who support me on Patreon. Never underestimate the value of your contribution to keeping this channel going. Thank you.